Alrighty, so we've got another build series video coming up for you, and this one here, it's all about the roof rack to put on. There's quite a few options on the market. There's also there's not only a few different designs, there's also quite a few different price points to look at. And I guess for us, you know, trying to get something for the ute, it was a question of whether we go for one on the front, one on the back. We've gone with a budget option. That's what we're going to show today is, you know, the pros and cons of a roof rack like this. It is very simple, but it bloody does a job, let me tell you. While we've got a roof rack on the roof of the car there, I am definitely looking to get a roof rack for the canopy here, and if you've got any recommendations, I would love to hear those in the comments, because I haven't started looking yet, but I'm not really sure to start, and I'm not sure what type of design to go for yet, but let me know what you reckon or what you use. If you're new and you like the series and like what we're doing here, hit the subscribe button. We'd really appreciate that one, but for the moment, grab yourself a drink, make yourself comfortable, let's get into it. Cheers. Alright, it's time to crack this thing open here. So I've actually got the rails off the top of the Ranger, which are these two here. So wasn't terribly difficult to get those off. Probably, I don't know, for me it was just a case of just undoing things until I got enough room from the lining and the ceiling to, you know, be able to get 4 screws out. So basically there's 2 at the front of the rail there, 2 at the back of the rail, and same other side there, and managed to get those out without too much trouble, which is, for the Ranger, it's a 10mm spanner. So there's all the bolts, looks like we need. And we have here is some black silicone gasket, which is nice because obviously don't want to get any water coming in through the ceiling. The rails that came off, there wasn't any gasket on these rails. The only point there was the front one where the snorkel is. So if you haven't got a snorkel, then it's probably not going to be a problem for you. However, I will definitely be using that on there because it was a bit of a squeeze to actually get him off there. Like, I will show you there in a minute, but if you weren't sure, the snorkel bracket actually sits on top of the roof there, but under the actual rail of this one here. All looks to be nice and strong. I assume there's more brackets in this one here, but we'll crack him open now and have a look in there. Alrighty, there we go. So this one actually has a light bar in it as well. I'll cover off the specs and how to connect this one up later on, which I'm not going to do at the moment. I'm going to get this one fixed on here first, but first impressions are, looks to be pretty strong. It's a bit hard to show the install with this roof rack here, and it was also getting a bit late in the day when I did it. It's all up there now, and I'll show you what it looks like and how it fits in. There's a lot of different opinions on whether you fix this thing to the roof with a backbone like I've done here, or you fit it to the factory rails in the car. Look, I don't have an opinion either way. I know a lot of people swear by one way and other people swear by another way, and if you're one of those people and you've got maybe some sort of information or some experience to share, drop them in the comments. I'm sure there's people watching this video considering a roof rack, and any information you've got to share on what it was like for you, it would be interesting for them. But for me, I like to fix it onto the roof of the car rather than the rails. I don't know, it just feels better for me. This one did come with this rubber gasket here to make sure there's no water gets in here. So, and I will say, I was a little concerned about wind with this one here, because a lot of people have roof racks, and whistling or noise from the roof rack has definitely been an experience for a lot of people. And I thought, you know, well, maybe, you know, the channels there being a bit exposed might create a bit of that. But I can say after, you know, us doing a 7,000k trip across the country with this one before we're doing this video now, I haven't experienced any of that. There's been no noise at all, or no wind noise, no whistling, any of that sort of stuff. Now, I think in time I will fill in these channels here. I don't know, I feel like it would probably just finish off the job a little bit more, but you know, but for the moment, no problems at all. So if, you know, if that's a concern of yours, you know, definitely has been a thing for me. Now this one here does have a light bar in it. This exact moment, I haven't actually wired this one up here, but I'm going to at some point. If I do, in the moment I'll jump to the test this one so you can actually see what it's like. But the cable, I just got it tied off there at the moment. So the cable is just a Deutsch plug, which I'm actually going to run down the window seal here. Cable tied there, as you can see. Running it down the side of the window here. Now I just use Sikaflex rather than like a rubber cable concealer. I did have a look at one, but I thought, oh, a bit of Sikaflex, run it down the groove there, because with the Ranger windscreen there is just a little bit of a gap there. You do need a harness for this one here. It doesn't come with it. I'll chuck on the screen which harness I got. It's very simple to plug in. Basically the harness has got everything you need, including the little adapter on the end. Now that adapter on the end there is the bit that plugs into the back of the light. And in the back of the light there, you just connect up the two cables, which I have running out down the back in here. The windscreen here, the cable's running in on. See, I've got the cable in under there. It comes out through there under the grommet, and you can see him down there, and I've got him fixed on. Cable coming up here, connecting onto the battery there. And on the other side here, runs down through here and connects on there. It's not a difficult job, but it is fiddly, and essentially all you're doing is plugging things in. The harness doesn't require earthing, which is very nice. So I've just fixed on the back there. Only reason to do that is this car's got so many things already on here, and I didn't want to drill another hole, and it's nice and easy to put it back there. And so some specs for you now. This roof rack only weighs 19.4 kilos. It has a 200 kilo static load capacity and a 80 kilo dynamic load capacity. Now it's designed to fit a 2012 right up to 2021 Ranger. Now on the roof there, you can see it has a 28-inch Lightfox Vega light bar, which provides a tickle over 17,500 lumens. But it's time to see how good this light bar is. So I found a nice little quiet spot out here on the road, and I'm just gonna get up on the roof here now and get the camera set up, and I'll show you a couple of different variations, and then I'll try doing with, you know, normal lights, headlights, spotties, to see what the light bar adds to the spotties, you know, to see whether it sort of adds a bit to the side, you know, to the depth, to the, you know, the sides. I'm really not sure how it's going to look, but I'm just going to settle this up now, and I'll put some little prompts on the screen there for you, and you can follow along and see what you think. And that's with the light bar on. Light bar off. And then back to normal headlights. And try it with spotties on. And that's adding the light bar to it. Alrighty, so there you go. That's my first experience with the light bar here at night, and seeing what it's like with spotties, without spotties. And you know, I'll let you make your own minds up what you think it's like, but for me it's actually quite interesting. I know my spotties, I do have to adjust them a little bit, and you know, the light bar itself is kind of adjusted probably fairly straight. I really haven't sort of tinkered it too much, so you know, maybe there's a little bit more to do there. But if you don't have the provision for spotties, you know, a light bar definitely adds a bit more light to your setup, that's for sure. Now the light bar in the roof rack itself is a little bit protected there as well, and you know, I think it actually complements the roof rack quite nicely myself. Now, so for ours, we've got a PX2 Ranger, And we have the antenna for the radio on the front of the roof. Now, I think it's the PX3s had the antenna on the rear of the roof. Now, if your antenna's on the rear of the roof, this bit isn't going to apply to you, but if it does, if it is on the front, I'll show you what's happened here. You can see there it is quite close to the roof, and maybe that's why I don't actually experience any noise. So you can see there the antenna, I had the option to make the antenna go straight up, or see if I can get the camera in there to sort of show you what it's like underneath. But basically the antenna just runs straight under. Now, I don't listen to radio myself anyway. I'm not into commercial music. Only time I listen to radio is if I'm listening to the footy or the cricket on the ABC anyway, so not a big deal for me. However, if it is for you, I am losing a little bit of radio signal with the antenna face down like that. Now, most people when they have roof racks on the Ranger, if you consider it for the first time, run it underneath without any problems. I guess with this one here, because it's got the light bar on the front of it here, it does sort of come down a little bit low on the front. So if that's a concern for you, I know maybe that's something for you to consider. And as for the rack itself, it doesn't stick out at all, which is nice. Doesn't go over the back there. And this one is all front to back channels. Some people do prefer side to side channels, but this is what you get here. One here, we've got an L and an R on the backbone brackets here. So if you're chucking him on here, maybe just pay attention to which side they are. However, this will make you laugh, and yeah, it would have been easy for me to leave this out. The first time I did it, I didn't get him on the wrong way, because I had the roof rack upside down when I put the backbone brackets on to put it on, and it did sit a little bit low on the front as a result, but you know, not a big deal. To put things up here, this doesn't have little grooves to, you know, to sort of drop things down into. You do have to take this front section off here. So what you've got is these little Allen key spots all the way up the front there. This front section here will actually come out to the left, and everything sort of goes back in this way. That's how I sort of managed to get the Max Trax brackets on the other side there. Okay, so look, I'm at a point now where we've finished our trip, and I've got to change some of the gear on the roof rack here, and I thought this would be a good chance to show, because this is a little bit different than what we've experienced previously with our old rack. And this one here, you've actually got to take the front section off to be able to get in the grooves, but I'll jump up here now and I'll give you a look. See this one here, you got the grooves the whole way up there, but what I've done, and I'm going to do this time, is just taking off this front section here. So Allen key or torque bit here, so 1, 2, all those ones there, and then this front section here actually slides forward, and then once it slides off, the channels are actually bare. But because I've got the antenna in the front section there, I actually have to take off the 4 bolts that fix this on from the top. So I need the front to go up like that essentially, so I can get the front section off there, but I'll show you. So base is on there like that, just a couple of knocks of the hammer, off she comes. Channels are exposed, and now I can do what I need to do. Okay, this is what the underside of these screws here, so as you can see, they're just little channel nuts here. They're the ones that go up in here. Okay, so the awning's off here now. Time to put this front section back on, because we've got another awning that's going to go on here at a later date. There's a close look at the front there, so it's all fairly simple. And now the awning's off there. So now it's time to chuck this one back on here. If you've got a snorkel like I do, this little section here did require a bit of extra manipulation. Now, running the factory roof mounted racks on this one here, there was a bunch of silicone or gasket in there before, so I just had to clean that one out before I put this one in. So for me, the snorkel bracket went under the roof rack bracket itself, bracket went on top. As for what awning we got going on there, so the one we took off, I'm actually selling because I want a freestanding awning. So yeah, if you've got a recommendation or experience with freestanding awnings, 270 is what we're looking at, not a 180. Would love to hear what your recommendations are here, and I guess for the back here as well. I'm definitely liking the idea of a roof rack back here, because traditionally I like to put things on the roof myself, and yeah, this Hima roof rack here is a winner. Very easy to put on, does the job, I'm not complaining, and it doesn't bloody cost a fortune either, so definitely worth a consideration, that's for sure. Now with this Hima roof rack here, we have done a bit of work with Vicoffroad in the past, and they have offered us a 10% discount. So if this one is not on sale, use the link in the description with the discount code. Grab yourself one of these. Shipping through Vicoffroad has always been very fast. You know, we live in Perth, so getting stuff across the country generally is quite delayed, and it does take quite a lot of time, but Vicoffroad tend to get the gear over here quicker than anyone else I've ever dealt with. Hit the subscribe button, the like if you like what you're seeing, and drop in the comments what you think. Feel free to share any sort of appreciation or any advice for anyone. This is all for you. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Diesel for Getting Around Oz, camper trailer traveling. We'll catch you in the next one. Hooroo.